I don't have a single voice now. Well, we have to close the offices on Friday, but I checked the voice note this morning, there was nothing on there. I don't even know if the LEC has voice note. Call off, what, consider this Friday, but they even have voice note. No, I haven't seen it. All right, tonight's the board, right? You ready? Ready? All right, I got about 1 minute after. Can everyone hear me all right? Mic's working? All right, I'll declare a quorum and call the meeting to order. Sometimes it's harder to hear with this mask on. We have a volunteer to lead us in prayer. Our chaplain's gone this morning. Anybody? Sharon? Love to have you. Kind of self-serving if I do it, so.
Our Father in heaven, Lord, we just come before you this morning, Lord. We just thank you, Lord, for your love and your grace and your mercy over us, Lord. We just thank you, Lord, for each person here this morning, Lord. We thank you for the freedom that we have that they can come and we can all meet in an open meeting. Lord, we just pray for those that are ill, those that are sick with the virus, or Lord, those that have other problems going on in their life, Lord. We just pray you heal them, Lord, if it be your will. Lord, we just thank you, Lord, for Brown County. Thank you for each commissioner here today, Lord, and the job that they do for Brown County. Lord, we pray that your spirit will hover over this place this morning as we conduct county business, Lord, that we do it according to your will. Lord, I just thank you for your love, and I pray, Lord, that I would honor and glorify you in all that I say and do. These things I pray in your precious Son, Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen, thank you. And item number 3, since I didn't have access to my office on Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, I'm going to pass on that. So item number 4, citizens' comments. We don't have anybody signed up to speak. So item number 5, consideration approval of minutes of the workshop minutes for August 14th, 2020, and the minutes from the Commissioners Court meeting budget workshop, August 17th.
That was a mouthful. Make a motion, we approve the minutes.
Okay, we have a
Of all
motion,
three.
motion and a second. All right. Any further discussion? All in favor? All right, item number 6, consideration of approval of any treasurer auditor reports.
I would like to pass that to the end.
To the end?
There is no.
Well, I'm sorry.
Okay, so we'll come back to that, is what you're telling me.
Well,
There is
I'm sorry, I was thinking of the bill when you said reports.
All right, yes, bills is number 7, I'll come back to you. So number 8 is consideration approval of appropriate action regarding the following. Number 8A is Commissioner Kelton, approval of the burn ban. We'll do that real quick.
I'm in favor of it staying in place.
That's me also, so no action.
All right, so there's no action on that one. On 8A, so let me I'm trying to get this rolling here. I know people got to go back to work. Lisa, are you out there?
Yes.
Can you come on up? We'll do item number 8E, which is, let me read it, our health department update on the COVID-19 response in the county initiatives.
Okay, good morning. Since we met last week, there have been 91 negative test results returned to us, and there have been 53 positives, and there has been 1 death. There's been lots of activities surrounding schools, and so I don't have a specific count for you, And the numbers they seem about the same. We have a distribution by ages that we list also on our post daily. And I haven't seen a significant increase in the age of the school children, but we'll continue to watch that kind of as days go by.
Hospitalizations, I'm sorry.
There are 3 hospitalized currently.
And how many COVID rooms? We have 7 last time I was up there. We know
I think that can vary from day to day. The hospital would be more appropriate to answer that question.
I just thought maybe you knew.
Yes.
Any other questions for Lisa?
And I know that I've been reporting to y'all every week recently. If that is still appropriate, I can do that, or before I was doing every other week, whatever y'all feel like is best.
What do you need? What do you think?
It changes from day to day, so I just want to make sure y'all are informed.
I kind of like having you in here every week. Just here,
That's fine with me.
so we get the direct numbers from you and not have to.
I suggested to her also, we talked about it, we could leave her on the agenda every week, and if she doesn't have anything really.
That's true.
It's not like, feel bad if we're not showing up, we understand that.
You know, how we do that, we'll just leave you on the agenda, and if there's something significant, that's an excellent idea, you can come report it, otherwise, every other week. Does that sound all right? Everybody okay with that?
Yeah, that way, kind of leave it up to your judgment for something you would need to know.
Thanks, ma'am.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
All right, that was item number 8E. We're gonna go to item number 8C, which is, the volunteer fire department representative discussion regarding radio communications and equipment. So whoever's your spokesman, come on in.
I'm Captain Hill's secretary for the moment.
Well, you make pretty good with
Some
it.
information that he's going to speak about today. All right, first and foremost, thank y'all for putting us on the agenda and listening to our.
Let me stop you just a minute.
Yes, sir.
Would you please
Yep.
remove,
Absolutely.
that's one
Thank
of
you.
the, that's one of the
And introduce.
exemptions is public speaking.
Not a problem.
And I'm hard of hearing, and you put that mask on and it kind of,
And if you could pull that mic a little closer to you, and then introduce yourself for the record,
Yes,
sir.
sir. I'm Chad Hill. I'm the Early Fire Department's fire chief here representing the Brown County Chiefs in this communication. First and foremost, we knew months ago that we got this survey. We looked at it, we knew the communication was needed upgrades, it was a failure to start with. It's a huge safety factor right now for everybody. We knew it was gonna cost a lot going into it. We, the chiefs, met several times throughout the months. And the last discussion, we were given what we needed to function. So we came up with a list and what we needed to continue our operations for the taxpayers and the citizens of Brown County. This list wasn't anything extra. I mean, this was actually less than what we're operating with now. I give you all a paper if you will go over to the fire chief radio list. Well done, we've got everybody and we came in and broke it down. And I broke it into how many active volunteers we have per department. The portable requested, the mobile requested, and the portable now and the mobile now is what we have. Bangs, we have communication failure. Bangs has 18 portables right now and 9 mobiles, if you want to write that in your notes. That was the only one that did not have. So if you go to the list, I mean, it's pretty cut and dry. I mean, obviously, we asked for 128 portables, 57 mobiles. It's nothing extra. I get it. It's a lot of money. To do our job and operate efficiently and safely, it's what we need. And then it goes was in the next thing, Chief Hicks sent over a list, I think y'all received it, I sent to Judge Liddy on Thursday. And it kind of went over 3 different options. And y'all should still have a copy of that, hopefully. Option 1 is what we requested. Yeah, I said, we come in and, you know, you have it.
Which one is it? Is that, that's the 4 sheets you just handed me, is it?
No, it's an email I forwarded.
It's an email.
All right,
I forwarded it to all of you.
all right, I got it.
Okay. The 3 options, obviously going to the 700 megahertz is more safely and efficient, not just for us, for sheriff's office, for every entity in the county. As well as taxpayers, it's safest. Option A was more of what we put in for, so I get it. Chief Hicks did talk to a few people on Thursday and got I guess a discount, as you would say, is 100,000, 674,000, I get it. It's a lot to swallow, but we knew going into this is gonna be a lot. That is the ultimate package. And then again, if you look at your chief list, it's still not giving us 100% radios.
No, that's 674, that's portables only, correct?
No, so that's portables and mobiles.
So we're looking at about 535,000 for portable, but if you do average of $3,500 for portable times 141 requested.
On this request, initially we put in for dual band radios. Somewhere down the line, it got back not to single band. We can't operate on single band. I mean, there's no obviously way we can operate into Chief Hicks and then Larry from LCRA can go into that in a better sense. But to purchase the dual band radios, which that is VHF, is what we currently have, which is all your state med, your V-Fires, is required. I mean, it's not just Texas, it's nationally, it's required. We have to have those. And putting a single band mobile, because we're currently gonna leave our VHFs in our trucks. So that's actually adding a single head, single mobile, which the dual band portables is obviously the most expensive, but that will give us 90, said Larry knows all this, 99.3% coverage in the whole county. Right now, I don't know if y'all listen to the radios, but maybe 60%, 70% in areas. So like I said, that's the ultimate package. We got an email or word back that I guess y'all met maybe last Monday and cut us down to 4 portables and 1 mobile per department, which is about 378.
One for each truck, what I thought.
One mobile for each truck.
1 mobile for each. Okay.
Okay.
We understood that 1 mobile per department.
No, it's one for, well, all the trucks and then 2 dual band handhelds and then 2 single band handhelds.
Yeah.
I know that's not what you're, I know that's
So
not.
if you'll go back and look how many mobiles we have right now, that's good, but as far as the portables, I'm gonna use for structure fire, for instance, if you don't have a dual band portable, you're carrying 2 portable radios. You can't do that. If you're trying to hold a nozzle and an axe and then really search for somebody, there's no possible way you can carry 2 radios. You don't got 1 radio pocket on your phone. So that question is totally out. I mean, it's unsafe. You can't operate, and then we'll go through this, and I've got some more stuff for you that you can read and maybe better understand of what we do. Now, between option 1 and 2, there's about $295,000 difference. I mean, yeah, I get it. I said it's a lot of money, but if you're on the tax note, it's really not that much a year. It's really not. Option 3, it's not recommended. That's the problem we're having right now. We're in option 3 and it's not working. I mean, I challenge each one of y'all to carry a portable radio with y'all for the rest of the week and listen to everything, or go to dispatch and listen. It's not feasible. And like I said, it's huge safety, and somebody's gonna get killed. I mean, it's gonna happen. God forbid it does, but if we keep operating like this, whether it's us or the sheriff's office or PD, somebody's gonna die. So, and I sure don't want that on my hands. If you will go to the next page, the International Association of Fire Chiefs. And if you want me to read this, I can. If you want to read it amongst yourselves. But the first few sentences, I said this was adopted the International Fire Chiefs in 2009. It's a recommendation and they've put it in place in the NFPA, which is National Fire Protection Association, which oversees every fire department in the U.S.
Do all of our volunteers have handhelds now, portables?
Yes, it's probably 98% covered.
How does they get those?
A lot of them bought them themselves. They really did throughout the years. I mean, I've been in Brown County for 18 years as a paid and a volunteer. Been a fire chief for 6, I guess, and it's hard to come up with that money. So people have bid it off themselves just so they can have communication. And the donations, we appreciate the money y'all give us. We do. And the donations are, I mean, it's, I guess the economy right now, I mean, some people give, some people don't. There's just not a lot of money out there. And when you're running, which I'll get to that paper in a minute, we run 394 calls since July the 1st countywide. 394. That's a lot of fuel. And that's not including the man hours. We've been busy. And if every person did not have a portable radio, whether, we're just not going to one scene a day. And early, I had 5 different trucks in 5 different locations for days. So it's what do? You got volunteers also covering the city for medical calls. Most of the time, they don't go get a truck. Okay? So falls back. Why are we here? Why are we changing? We did this because of communication failure. It's like the whole county is a failure right now. But the lack of coverage is not there. It's outdated. The VHF is so thin based, and I'm not a radio man, but it gets interference a lot. So when you're on scenes, if dispatch keys up on the sheriff's office, you're going to miss valuable information. If you have a Mayday situation going on in the house, well, you've probably just missed that, and that could cause that fireman or that whoever's in there's life. So there's a lot of interference going on with VHF. That's why we chose the 700 megahertz, because the interference is far and beyond. There's so many groups in that.
But you're still gonna be required to have all the VHF channels because of all
That's
the
correct.
fire ones,
That's not going
medical,
to change.
helicopters and all that.
That's correct. That's not going to change, and that's why we need a dual band. That's why we need a dual band. You know just as well as I do up in May, your service is
I've
stretching.
been trying to get something done for a long time. I didn't know we were gonna go 700, it was really complicated.
Yes, sir. Well, I mean, it's the most feasible thing to do. When you can talk portable to portable from north end to the south end of the county with 99% coverage, it's the only way to go. It's cheaper in the long run. This is probably a 15 and 20-year program. I'm gonna be long gone. I mean, this is here to stay, and if we're gonna do it, we need to go all in. These guys are every day, these are the fire chiefs of your Brown County that are putting their lives and their people on the line every day. It's their job is to bring their people home safe to their families. I've left for Christmas, every day. There's something going on every day in this county that these people leave their families. Can you operate without a cell phone, I should say, your people? I know you got foremans. There's no way. You have to have communication. Which brings me back to minutes. Minutes and seconds count in our jobs. I get it. We all have pagers. We do. We all have this phone system, but by the time you get it, these volunteers are going to their station to get trucks. We do have some paid crew and early. We're very, very fortunate, I guess, in that sense. We're still a volunteer department though, but I do have a couple of paid guys. Minutes and seconds count. When you're going to a wreck, when you're going to a fire, a house fire or a grass fire grows, and on humidity on grass fires, but 3 times the size of every minute. So seconds and minutes count. If you don't have communication to get somebody else there, you're dead in the water. You're dead in the water. When we have a helicopter here, obviously, Broward Regional can't handle everything, so your golden hour, communication failure. You gotta have communication with them, so. Anyway, it brings me back, if you will switch over to the county calls, Brown County Fire Department responses. That's a breakdown from July 1st to August 18th. Every department that they ran, construction fire, grass fire, medical, accident, other includes hazmat, car fires, just a general gas leak. That's others. Your four big ones are construction, grass, medical, accidents. Give you all a little second to look over that. On the right, I put the totals. There's been talk of early, and I put the city calls versus the county calls. We run a lot more county calls than we do city. We have a pretty big area. So in this bunch, July the 1st of August, obviously the earliest leading the group. North Lake may lead it next month. Just wait, this is the way it is. The 394, I said, how many man hours, life saved, and property saved by these men and women in Brown County every day? So if we're gonna do it, I'm asking you to do it right. Take out the tax note, whatever we need to do to give these people communication.
You had somebody here from the LRCA.
Sorry.
You have someone here from the LRCA?
Yes, Larry Brown? Yes, he's back here.
He, oh, I remember him. How you doing? I got a question or two for you.
Any better if we can get it,
And I had a question or two for you.
You want me to
Come on
move
up.
forward?
Yeah, can you come on up to the front?
As far as this tax note, I mean, I understand, like I say, it's a lot of money, but, with this last month and a half, I guarantee if you ask any citizen, that big plumes of multiple plumes of smoke in the horizon, guarantee they're gonna be on our side. Guarantee it. So we have saved a whole lot of property, evacuated people out of their house that actually burnt. We've done our part the last month and a half, I can assure you. When you're running on 2 or 3 hours of sleep for a week, and every one of these people done that, them and their fruits. So, go ahead, Larry.
Okay, answer questions, or do you
The
want?
question I had for you was, so I understood we were still talking about doing the VHS system also combined. Is that not still in part of the deal?
It really, it complicates the system, because of the coverage that the chief just mentioned. It doesn't cover all of the area.
My question was, we were gonna keep the VHF system up though, and it was gonna be still working in.
Right, we're not worried about coverage for
I
our.
realize, I know what the coverage is on it.
We're going to keep the primary VHF, which is really the fire department, City of Brownwood Fire Department, because it has coverage most of the county. But it's only one, you only have one conversation on it at a time.
Like it is right now.
Yeah.
Right.
And so it's all.
Well, my point's gonna be that we were talking about, we're gonna have what we have plus the addition of this other. We're not taking the VHF away, right? We're not taking VHF away. We're adding 700.
We're not taking away we're gonna keep a VHF frequency for law enforcement and also a VHF frequency for fire. However, that's more for interoperability when people come into the county. If they've got VHF, they can then be tied to the 700 system. The 700 system was brought out by Homeland Security after 9/11. They found that there were like 110 different communication systems there in New York. And then they started making a decision of how many people could have been saved, how many first responders could have been saved if they could have talked together. I think the easiest one to kind of talk about not being able to talk is one group's out doing one thing, setting a backfire, another one's coming along right behind it, putting it out. And that kind of happened. I believe in the 700. I don't make commissions. I don't get paid. I work for LCRA, but it is a service and a cost recovery. I was disappointed when the the volunteers didn't get funded, so this past weekend, I've been working, we're on a cost recovery basis, the LCRA. Really, we produce electricity and water, but we have community service, and anything we can do to help the citizens of Texas, we're gonna do it. So I went to the manufacturer and also our distributor, and they gave us a deeper discount. They gave me another $100,000 off of the price of the whole system, and have all agreed that I could funnel that to the volunteer fire department in Brown County. Now, that's an equipment credit, that's not, I'm not writing a check, it just says that you buy these dual band radios, I'll bring that price down from where it is today,
So for
another
the,
100,000.
I've got so many different figures. Tell me, how much is a single band portable costing us?
Single band portables, they come in different ranges, I guess is what I'm.
The one we're talking about.
Can you tell me which ones they are?
The meal spec was a.
I'm just trying to nail down final actual costs, prices per unit is what I'm trying to nail down.
Yeah, I know, and I can do that, it's about $2,400.
And dual band, still 3,500?
The dual bands are gonna be closer to 4,000.
We're talking about the handhelds.
Right.
We're talking
4,000.
about-
And mobiles?
And those are gonna be about $500 more than portable. And I can give you the exact number.
That was single band mobile. I thought single band was like 30.
But no, I'm back to if you were doing all.
Okay, no, we're doing single band mobiles.
If you're keeping VHF in the truck,
Yeah, I can get down to about $2,600 on mobile. It's,
since you're leaving the VHF in the truck, we don't need
Yes,
dual
we
band.
don't need dual band mobiles. Our main, I mean, we're out on car wreck, medical, we got portables. That's what we need. I mean, we need that dual band capability to not carry two radios. If I'm talking to Brownwood Fire and trying to give them a silent on one and talking to a helicopter on the other, also I'm just switch. I mean, it's just, you got a dual band. You don't have to carry two radios.
Does every firefighter need that or just command need the dual band?
The NFPA recommends every seated position in your truck has to have radio.
I understand, but I'm saying, do they all have to be dual band?
Preferably, yes, sir. But I may be gone and I may have three other guys that maybe run the station tomorrow. So is it, and that's where, you know, to look into this, if we have, I mean, if you look at it, we've got 14 active volunteers at the dam, well, they're only asking for 10. I mean, if you look, there's very few that's even with what they have now. So most of them are already taking a cut. So there's gonna be a few that don't have that. So if you leave it at the station, I mean, I guess you can leave it at the station and hope they come get it. But if it's a medical call, you have time to go. If it's CPR, they take their VOBs. So if I'm 3 blocks away on the CPR and I have to go to the station 3 miles away and come back, well, there's your 5 minutes out the door. So, and that's why we're trying to get one for each member. I mean, obviously, we're not gonna give a radio list that we're asking for, we're not gonna get one every member, we're not. It's still taking a cut, you're 3-4 short on every department there.
What happens if you respond to something, any of the neighboring counties with this,
That's why we're leaving.
with this 700 band radio? You can't talk to
No,
them.
we can't, and that's why we're leaving our old radios in our trucks. If we have to go in.
That's why we're, like Commissioner Kelson said, we're keeping the VHS
Yes,
system.
Right, and that's what we're gonna do, that's why we're keeping them in the trucks, because most time we're gonna be in that truck. If we have a dual band portable, if we need to talk to them, we can switch over and talk to them on dual band if they're programmed, and they're doing all the programming. So that street runs both ways, if they come over here, Comanche comes here, they still have Brownwood Fire and they can switch over to the VHF. We can still communicate. Is it gonna be great? No, it's not. Depending on where you're in the county, you're not gonna communicate.
Well, the point I was trying to make is, if we keep the VHF system, we'll have everything we have now, and anything we give y'all will be in addition to what you already have, it's gonna be an improvement. There's a lot of talk, one or two meetings I went to, all those grants to pay for all this. Or maybe they are, maybe we get a grant, and they might pay for the more and rest of this, but we're trying to figure out, like again, we're trying to find a good starting spot to get everybody started in. Maybe go out for a grant and all, but y'all want everything right now up front, and which means you gotta go with the taxpayer money.
And help the citizens or not? I mean, that's
Are you
still-
saying, okay, what I'm saying is, you're saying like we don't do it, we're not helping him. I'm saying anything we do is gonna improve what we have. So anything we do is gonna be and above what you currently have, so it's an improvement. It's not taking anything away. But we could get where everybody has communication, lease their trucks, and 4 people, key personnel still can get contact, dispatch. Even if the VHF radios want to have that additional, while we work on maybe a plan or a grant, because I kept hearing talk about grants, oh, they got grants to pay for it, we'll get the grants to pay for some of this stuff. That's where we were coming
Six
from.
people in a house fire and you can't communicate with them?
Okay, I'm not taking anything away from you, we're adding to you.
It's not good. But that's the problem, Mr. Gilpin. They don't work very good right now. I'm in United and I can't even communicate to somebody in the parking lot.
I guess the piece is, they've got 60% or less coverage across the entire country.
I got you. I got
60
you.
on the VHL.
Yeah.
One of
And
those.
here, in the other environment with the 700, they have 99% better coverage. I mean, that's all the blue where there actually is coverage goes into some of the other counties. But that's the mobile, and it's 98.7% on the portable. And that idea is a part of the emergency communication system is everybody to be able to talk to each other. Because they're out there, like you say, risking their lives, and that's the reason LCRA is not giving that other 100,000, but our distributors and our manufacturers have given me $100,000 off the price.
So
because
with
they-
that $100,000, so bottom line, we're looking at, and the total in is around, you said 674,000, so with a $100,000 credit, we need to come up with 574,000. That's the bottom line. To get everybody exactly what you're asking for.
That says everybody to talk to, whether it's the sheriff, whether it's the police, whether it's ground.
Well, that's the fire department radios. We're talking just fire department radio.
Yeah, I know, I'm talking about just fire
saying
department.
all of the organizations of law enforcement, first responders in Brown County.
Well, I'm just
should
talking
talk
fire
to each other.
So your system is all also computer-based, right? And so all these calls actually have to go back through, like Austin, you said?
They do, but they don't. It will stand alone on itself if that circuit, we're taking 3 different circuits back to Austin. On individual sites. And it's not any different than when you dial your telephone. It's instantaneous. I mean, it's-
All right, well, there is a consideration that you are still dealing with a computerized system. If it went down, what are the fail safes?
it's not cheap.
Damn, it's infallible. We know how that works. Those things do fail, so. Also, I'm just saying, there is
Okay, so-
another option. Steve has something there.
So jumping back, I wasn't aware that the 674 figure you gave me was after the $100,000
Yes.
credit. So we need to come up with $674,000
That's correct.
is what, to get everybody what they're asking for.
That's what I was gonna correct you on. I think you said 574, but it's actually 774, less 100 that they've.
Well, that-
got on the site.
Right.
And the fees, there's a fee every
What about
month
the part that
for
says,
radio.
after a quality discount, the purchase of 3 sites, over 550 radios? They're not purchasing 550 radios.
Is that a typo or something?
You're gonna get
It was in that email.
Well, 550 is the combination of the entire county. That includes the city.
City, county, portable,
All
small, everything.
of, it's basically, if it goes through, just in round numbers, it's 174 radios that were going to be ordered for the county. I mean, 260 or 216 for the city is ordering.
Sheriff's Department. Yeah, when you count.
Sheriff is part of the county. I'm taking the county when I say
Okay, we follow you.
Okay, and then, so each radio is how much per month for the maintenance fee, I mean, for it to be on the system?
The $17 a month charge per radio. And what that does is, it's not like airtime, some people call it airtime, it's not airtime like on a cellular phone. But there are 3 sites we're putting out. One we call Round Mountain, another one up in Mays on Dr. Burns' property. And then LCRA has a tower we call Brown Microwave down in the southwest corner. And we're giving you access to that for free. And then we've got a path that takes back into Austin where we have 2 switches. That switches, what it is it's intelligent enough to know what trucks log on to what site, what tower, and it only, and what, they have talk groups on them. They don't have frequency, they have talk groups. So each organization may have 10, could be fighting 10 fires at one time, and they wouldn't be overlapping each other in their conversation. They will have their own set of communications.
While we're talking about that, let me ask.
Well, go ahead.
Well, I want to build off what you said. In addition to the monthly maintenance, portable radios get knocked around and beat up a lot because they're wearing on belt, you're wearing them in the house. Who's going to pay for the repairs for damages on it? I know for a while they'll be under warranty, but once they're not under warranty, is the volunteer fire department going to pay for the repairs, or?
So I mean, it's the agreement.
Because we don't have a budget line item to pay for that.
Well, that comes up,
Volunteers didn't really ask for this neither. We just kind of got thrown in. They're asking, what do you need to operate? And here it is.
Well, I wasn't asking you. I was saying we might need to.
so,
Yes.
so-
And, you know, for 3 years, I mean, we're good. So we have maybe after a year or 2, 3, probably need to come up with something.
is there ever a cap on the amount we pay in on these monthly fees? I mean, if we just keep adding radio, that keeps going up, but
What that $17 a month really goes for is we operate and maintain, there's about $500,000 worth of equipment sitting out at each one of these sites. And we operate it and maintain that. There's about $4 million sitting in Austin that we operate and maintain that. And what that $17 covers is we're gonna operate it, we're gonna maintain it, we're gonna support those sites. If new software comes out, they're huge, they're just big computers. New software comes out, you get it, no additional charge. If the manufacturer ever gets to the point where they come out with software that just hardware won't have, one of you probably had a Dell PC at one point in time, told it won't work anymore, it won't take the latest software, we'll change the hardware out. And we'll put in whatever the newest hardware is. So those sites,
didn't really answer my question, no. I'm just saying, so I realize we're gonna do this system, but when we buy 10 radios or 100 out there, they're still $204 a month. Is there ever a cap on that? I mean, because that doesn't cost you anymore for us to keep adding radios to that. Is there ever an end to the,
we spread the cost of our radio system over all of the users. And so we fixed a flat fee. The fees actually come down.
What's the, what, if we do the additional, what'd be the?
oh, I don't know, 204 per month per radio. How many radios y'all talking about total out there? Handhelds, just handhelds?
204.
204 a year per radio. So how many radios are out there?
Well, yeah, but we're talking about how many all in.
Oh, yeah, trucks in. 128.
All said and done.
128 plus how many trucks? Where's I got that?
172, 3, 4.
If it's 174 radios times, that's $35,500 a year. We're gonna have to just pay in fees if we agree on that.
We included 77,000 in fees in our budget, which includes the sheriff's department.
But that's, you're talking about
So we
dispatch.
put 77,000 in this year's budget. We included $77,000 for radio fee, monthly fees. But
Are you sure that wasn't for dispatch too? No, that wasn't for dispatch also.
that was for the sheriff's department and the fire department.
Well, I'm just still saying, that's still all a chunk of money. Whatever it is, whatever Howard's budget is still $35,000 a year,
I would
every year.
just, I know it's a lot of money,
a heck of a lot.
The way I try to look at it is, you could not hire a technician to maintain that equipment for $35,000. You might have an employee cost with all loaded benefits closer to $100,000. And so that's the other side of who's gonna take care of it. Now, that's what we're doing, is taking care of it.
So you're the sponsor. What would you
The
like to do?
system we currently have has went down, and literally, I'm Brownwood Fireman too, literally, the dispatchers have to come to station one and dispatch, because our system is down. So I mean, it's, where we draw the line, if we're gonna do it, we're kind of in stagnant water here, if we're gonna do it, we need to do it. I'm just saying, these guys' lives are just as important as the cops, we all have a job to do.
Any more questions?
Anybody out there have anything you'd like to add?
Quick, because we're running out of time.
Yeah, we gotta move along. To do what?
I think Chief Hicks has a little bit he'd like to say.
Chief, come on up.
He's coming up, I
Thank you,
appreciate
Jack.
y'all's time like that.
Thank you, Jack. We got a budget workshop right after this, so we're.
This doesn't come up in a budget workshop because it's not for this year.
Good morning, everyone. Just want to let you know, I have the utmost respect for the men and women of Brown County volunteer fire departments. They've done an excellent job over the last month. This last month has shown that this system is truly needed. Think of your cell phone, for example. Would you stand for a cell phone service that did not work?
I have one right now, if you know where I stand.
Well, and that's the thing. Can you tolerate that? So if you were out
I
there
deal with
dying
it, I deal with it.
on the south part of the county, are you willing to go tell somebody's family that you cannot get a hold of animals or whatever? So that is what this system is for. It's for protection of the people and residents of Brown County. So there is a cost. The city of Brownwood, the city of Early, we're going with the system for that reason. Citizens of Brown County deserve the same.
What's your implementation date? When do you hope to be up and running?
9 months. So
this next fiscal year.
We'll be operational in 9 months. So, and we went with the dual band system for the city of Brownwood, both police and fire, and we earliest did the same. So figures are pretty accurate. Like I say, we worked last week to get the numbers down. I mean, what you committed to last week in your budget here was $378,927. You're almost there. Like I say, what Chief Hill said, the tax note is not that much different for the long term. This is a once in a lifetime chance to upgrade the county's radio system. It will never happen again. If you don't do it now, they're gonna be operating on this system for the next 20 years. Our personnel who maintain this system for free are leaving, they're retiring. So who's gonna maintain the current system? And that's something you have to think about. We don't need it. The city of Brownwood does not need that system. We could get away with it. No reason to stay in that place. It's for the county. So that's all I have to say. I'll be happy to answer any questions if you have it. I sent that memo out earlier. But
Questions for the chief?
thank you,
Thank you, chief.
Eric Hicks.
Okay, so what do you
We're
propose?
done.
You sponsored this.
Well, they wanted to come and talk, so I guess there's no action gonna have today anyway on this. We're still working on all that, so.
Everybody in agreement with that?
Yes.
No action today. Something might be mentioned on the tax note. These people pay taxes too, so they'll be having to pay for it, all of us.
Well, like Chief, it's a bite, it stings, but like Chief Hicks said, we're already halfway there. If we're gonna do it on a tax note, we'll spread it out. It hurts, but our volunteer firemen are worth it. Our paid firemen, but especially our volunteers, in my opinion. They should have a radio just like every deputy does. Now, I understand the fiscal cost of it, and I understand the arguments, and I understand the restrictions. If we had to fund it just out of our budget, there's just no way we can do it. But using the tax note, it's something we can consider, certainly. I know you.
One comment.
Yes.
this is our last shot at coming to you guys and trying to make this happen. I've been doing this for like 42 years of volunteer fire service. If I'm out there, my biggest concern here is you're talking single band, dual band radios. If I'm out there with a single band radio at a medical call or anything, just where you guys will know this, I cannot talk to lifeguard. I can't talk to the ambulance that's requesting patient information, updates and things like that. I can't talk to area back helicopter if they need to land or anything like that. I can't talk to any surrounding volunteer fire department with us. I'm talking about outside the county. We're at Winchell, and you've got counties that we go out all the time. Won't be able to talk to any of those. Dual band radios is what we've got to have. If you don't want to start saying who's going to get those radios, okay, we'll give you 3 of this kind and 3 of this kind. It's going to be a nightmare out there when something like that happens. We've got one shot at this. We're asking you guys to come up with that somehow.
This goes back because everybody has to be able to talk to dispatch, I guess, when you're on the scene.
Everybody needs to talk to dispatch. I think everybody out there on the scene needs to be able to talk to lifeguard. Need to be able to talk to McCullough County across the road and other counties. Everybody needs to be able to talk to those folks that are out there on the scene. These guys are out there, and when you need to push that button, you need to be able to communicate. That's bottom line.
Well, gentlemen, I think everybody up here would love to get equip each fireman with them. We've got to balance, what we can afford and the public good, you understand. But we might be able to get there. Let us crunch some numbers. And we can't make any promises, but we sure appreciate you coming out and explaining to us your needs and
Show us that grant they were talking about earlier, or those grants.
I don't know of any current.
We get thrown out a lot early on, oh, you get grants, you get grants. I said, well, we need to see.
If you can find us a grant, that'd be great. I don't know of a grant like that you're talking about.
Yes, sir.
I'm Bo Allen, most of you know me.
Yeah, Bob.
Anyway, I'm not the most intellectual person in the room, I promise you. I've been on the school board at May for over 30 years. That's proof right there. We're all on the same team. I mean, we're all on the same team serving Brown County. And as a board member, 5, 6, 7 years ago, we was talking about going one-to-one with computers in May ISD. You know how much that costs for a little small school? Superintendent sitting right here, Assistant Chief Steve Howard, we're one-to-one. Every kid in May ISD has a computer in their hand, and we have spares. I mean, we need to take as big a step. I'm just urge you to take as big a step as we possibly can to make this happen. 700 is going to happen. I mean, we had an old system years ago when Joel was there as the chief. I mean, Joel still helps us out a lot. I mean, I appreciate all the
Well,
no.
well, I don't fight many fighters.
Yeah, fighter. But we had an old system where we had like 5 or 6 people in the community that had telephones in their house. It's 259-2912. We had a fire, everybody called 259-2912. Those 5 phones rang in the house. Somebody would pick it up and they'd listen. Okay, we got a fire out at so-and-so, so-and-so. They hang up, they go uptown, they push a button, makes a siren go off. People in town listen, they hear the siren, so you go charging up to the station. That system would still work. And we still have every bit of that technology today. We can make it work. It don't work good. But what we're asking is let's move on to the 21st century and try to take as big a step as we possibly can. I'm not saying that we get everything. I want everything. I mean, I want a lot of things, but just try to do the best you can for Brown County. I mean, and I know that's what you all want. It's important to not get stagnant in one place. Thank y'all so much.
Thank you, Bo.
It should be noticed that nearly all the fire departments ask for less radios and they've got actual active volunteers.
And we're gonna need, I guess we keep the extras with Daryl, emergency management. Would that be all right with you if we were able to buy any extras? So if somebody had one go down, you could come to this office here and get a backup.
I also asked Bo how much he liked those unfunded mandates when they got them. He didn't like that.
I don't like it at all. No better than y'all.
All right.
Okay, gentlemen, we'll certainly consider it.
Thank
Thank
you, guys.
you. Thank you. I know a lot of you took off work to come up here today, so we do appreciate it. All right, So we'll move to item number 8B, Commissioner Joel Kelton, consideration and possible approval to advertise for bid for concrete work for bridge repair project on County Road 411. So that's in the record.
We just need to go out now for bids for the deck and the wing walls on County Road 411 that the bridge we're repairing, so I just need permission to go out for bids. Right, Ms. Jennifer?
Yes, sir.
So I make a motion that we allow me to go out for bids for concrete work on County Road
We got some
411.
firefighters out in the parking lot too, that we couldn't get them in here too, by the way. We had plenty of people here to come short.
Everything you said, we took to heart.
They haven't carried back on the other side.
You're going out
All right,
for
so we have a
bids.
motion in a
You're
second.
going out for bids for concrete on
County Road 411.
411.
On that on the bridge,
Okay.
where we had the low water crossing collapse.
So we have a motion in a second. Any further discussion?
Second.
All in favor? Passes unanimous. All right, 8D, Jennifer, you're up. Consideration and possible approval of action to vote on proposed tax rate for publication purposes. The media left.
Well, they're out in the hall.
I'm here interviewing them, I'm sure. Hang on, it's very weird.
This type specific language in the motion.
Not that I'm aware, not that I read.
Well, I have that tax rate here, but I guess you got it.
So in the budget workshops, the commissioners have decided on a proposed tax rate of 0.5776.
I'm sorry. I'm listening. I was looking at my sheet.
In the budget workshops, the commissioners have decided on a proposed tax rate of 0.5776 per $100 value. The no new revenue rate is set at 0.5848, and the voter approval tax rate is 0.5776. So we are have decided to go out at the voter approval rate of 0.5776. The new simplified notice of meeting to vote on this rate requires that you vote on the proposal of the rate. So
Okay.
you have to vote. I mean,
As an individual on the roll call.
yes, we have to list who was for, who's against, who was present and not voting, and who was absent.
Okay, somebody want to word the motion?
Is this for the general fund and the bridge? and all that?
I move that the proposed tax rate for Brent be 0.5776 for the year 2020, 2021.
That's the number we've been using, right? Okay, I would second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All right, a roll call vote. Commissioner Worley.
Yeah, aye.
Mr. Phil? Aye. All vote aye, of course.
Aye.
Okay, so it's unanimous.
Did the judge vote?
Yes.
Did you vote? Oh, okay. I didn't hear you. I was closest to him. I didn't hear you.
All right, so 8F, Daryl, come on up. Our emergency management coordinator would like to use some COVID funds to approval of action regarding purchase of 3 backpacks and 4 portable handheld sprayers to be used in county property and vehicles to disinfect COVID. So basically what we paid for again this weekend, Daryl's wanting to switch so we can do it in-house. And Bob's not in here to tell us how much money, but I think we were sitting around 100,000, 120,000 left cash in the bank, and then we can draw another, up to another 500,000 or so. These are approximate figures if we need to on the COVID.
Okay, so, here's a couple of, here's the original, you know what I'm saying? The city is buying some of these, and we're so kind of, that got me thinking we could probably use some also. Handheld or just a little portable, good for vehicles and everything. And the backpacks are for structure, they're CDC approved, they're hydrostatic, which means it's not just a regular fogger, it breaks up the mist and not supposed to damage any furniture or anything like that. With the elections coming up, we decided to get a couple of extra backpacks for polling places. Looks like we're gonna be dealing with COVID for a long time. So, backpacks, they run 1,800 apiece, and handheld are 670 apiece. which makes it 8,148.52 total. Like good to come out of COVID funds. I think it'd be a good idea.
I move we approve this purchase, as long as it can, the payment can be made out of the COVID funds.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second, and I will get us an update at the next meeting, exactly where we stand on our COVID fund use. No problem. I have to do what Jennifer's office do that. So we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Okay. And item number 8P is also Chief Johnston, Emergency Management. For the record, it is consideration and possible approval of action regarding permission to request county fuel truck, service truck to be available as an on-call resource to provide fuel to the fire department vehicles during prolonged wildlife events or other county emergencies.
Wildfire.
Before you start, define prolonged.
Okay, so a lot of times we'll go on fire, a couple hours, it's over with, everybody wraps up and goes back on. Prolonged, especially if they go through a tank of fuel on that fire, what we'll do is bring the fuel truck out where they can, not necessarily top off, but give them enough where they can stay in the battle and stay there and keep going.
Okay. I would agree to that as long as they show up with a full tank of fuel
Yes.
to start with. We've had this problem in the past
Right.
where they come up and they're empty when they get there,
Right.
and then they need fuel and they call for fuel.
Right.
I don't know.
Basically fueling the truck.
They're fueling the trucks on us.
Right,
And
and they've got a budget for it.
Well, okay,
And I'm talking about my service truck. I don't have gasoline tank on my service truck. I've got a diesel.
Yes.
I don't know about the rest of you guys.
I don't even have a service truck, I have gasoline on tanks at the yard if you
Like
got.
Rex said, there was two, one carries red dye diesel, the other has the clear, and he said they usually carry like a few.
What they run out of generally is gasoline that they use, that's used for the impeller pump for their pump truck, their rig, the pump rigs.
And I have no way of carrying gas.
We don't carry, and like I said, my service truck has one tank, it's got diesel in it, and I don't have gasoline on my lot.
90% of the stuff out there, gasoline that fighting these fires.
Most of the trucks are diesel, but the pumps, a lot of them are gasoline.
Most of the pumps are gasoline.
Little brush trucks.
Yes.
they're gasoline.
The majority
So,
of these.
I mean, you've got access to to our, you can call and ask for those right now.
Okay.
The only call I've had this year was for gasoline. I had no way to take other than 5-gallon can, you know?
That's right.
Would have had went back and, at midnight, went to a convenience store if there'd been one open and got them some. We just don't keep gas.
Which brings to the question, why do we put a tank in the back of your truck for some gasoline?
That'd be a
I
definite
mean,
option.
because if that's gonna be the big
As long as it
thing.
doesn't interfere with his ability to pull that trailer.
Oh, it shouldn't, that's a buffer full.
Yeah, short,
No, the
50-gallon tank.
Oh, that one, that one is good. You can get those.
Doesn't
low.
matter. You can get a 100-gallon tank that fits right up next to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get that.
You're looking probably around $1,000 for the tank and pump.
But what I'm saying is, like the rest of them, we don't carry gasoline, we don't have gasoline. If they need gasoline, they're gonna have to send somebody with a 5-gallon can somewhere to get it.
Well, make note that May does keep gasoline in the yard, but we don't have any, like, we don't think we have gasoline like the air compressor, we may have a 5-gallon tank, but we have some like a little tank put in the back of a pickup for diesel. We don't have a big service truck.
So do we get your question answered, the prolonged wildfire? I said wildlife, I meant wildfire.
Well, yeah,
Long enough to run out of fuel on the scene.
as long as it's, I don't really know. A time limit, if it's prolonged, to me, you're not gonna run a full tank of diesel out of one of those trucks in 5 hours. We're just sitting there running all the time.
So.
You know, I don't know where to put a time limit on it, but still, I'm not going to say that, yeah, you can call us and we're gonna run diesel to you just because they didn't have a full tank when they started. I'm not,
You need to look in and get that tank in back that one.
Okay.
I mean, if that's, but you probably need a log who got what.
But
whatever, I don't think
you
pay-
can buy it for a whole lot less than $1,000. I bought so many of them, you can buy that tank for,
Yeah.
you know, Tractor Supply, 110 gallon and a pump, 12-volt pump to go on it for, probably get the whole deal for $600 or $500.
Yeah, I'll get some prices and bring it back.
All right, so what action do we want to take, if any, on 8G?
I wouldn't take any because he can call us and we can send them fuel if they need it right now.
We've always
It
worked.
doesn't need any action.
But
It's
now-
already
I know
there.
what you, but
My tank, I have no clear tank up, my is
All red.
red.
Yeah, mine's all red also.
I have both. I have in the yard, like I said, I don't have a fuel tank, but I have red, I have gasoline, and I have dyed, but I don't have a truck to carry it all in the yard. We just carry it in a little, like, I'm not here, small tank.
We've got clear and red, but what we carry in our
Yeah.
service truck is
Yes.
red.
Well, that's probably true on
For
us,
the
but
equipment.
our little tanks and our pickups are down up the road there. Yeah, they do.
It will. You put it in a new pickup and it's gonna sit there in that, wherever you're at.
I prosecute all the bad diesel cases. I know. You know, right?
So,
When I first started, I thought.
if you get in the bind, you're always welcome to call us. I mean,
Yeah.
we've always.
Yes, well, but in the past, what they've done is just called dispatch, they call tech stop, and they brought fuel. Now it requires a star request, which adds a couple hours.
I know that one time they had PF&E out on a deal, and I think they've even had tire truck out on one deal one time, but that's what that extra money is, is for a little bit of, there's a little bit of budget there for that.
Okay, you'll get some prices on the tank. All right, thank you, Darren.
All right, thank y'all.
Larry might be the smartest on that, he bought several of them.
All right, item number 8H is Don King, who's not here, but presented by Commissioner Kelton. Sorry, I should have read further. Consideration possible approval of action regarding subdivision of Donham Estates north of Brown County, just to the west of Highway 183 and south of Rising Star off County Roads 441 and 436.
It is a family estate, want to do the plat their property out, and it's already been approved by Don and Rita. And Don assured me he's ready for signature, but he was not able to hear today to finish, so it's in my precinct. So I'll make a motion that we approve this plat.
The name of it is Donham Estates.
It's actually called Simone Sanders Survey.
It should have a name at the top.
Yeah, it's called Donham Estates.
Plat, Don Trust Estate subdivision.
Okay, Donham Trust Estates subdivision.
I'm gonna lay it on the table.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I'll sign it.
I'll just set them out there.
All right, so
Just to clarify, Mr. Kelton, or Commissioner Kelton's motion, it is a plat to settle an estate. It's not selling property.
To sell an estate.
To
Settle.
settle an estate, yes.
More of a-
It's dividing property up for the heirs.
Why do they have to do it like that? It's just easier.
That's his decision to do it that
You
way.
must have a lot of land.
No, it's not a lot.
Really?
So I second Commissioner Kelton's motion.
It's part of like the family trust or some kind of trust.
Is there a motion and a second? Further discussion? All in favor? All right, no sign.
It's all over there.
So Tiana, come on up. Item number 8J is in John, oh, I'm sorry, I is in Ida, is Ms. McClure, Commissioner's Executive Assistant, consideration and possible approval of employee salary adjustment. So we're talking a market adjustment?
We are talking an adjustment to Melody, my assistant. She's also an administrative assistant. She was hired on as the indigent healthcare assistant, and it has come to my attention that she's being paid as a beginning clerk rather than a beginning administrative assistant. So since that has come to my attention, I would like to move her up to where she should be as a beginning administrative assistant.
Which I didn't talk to her about that, but I think some of these gentlemen do. I don't know what the difference.
Clarified it a little bit. The job has changed. She was hired as a clerk.
She was hired. Okay.
She was hired as a clerk, and it's changed to an administrative assistant. And or that's what it should have been, or that's the way she was hired. It should have been hired as an administrative assistant, but she was hired as a clerk, but the job is an administrative assistant.
What about the previous person in that position were they a clerk or administrative assistant?
That position is an indigent healthcare assistant, but
Keep
as
adding,
you know, that we've added on a lot of paperwork to that, as well as, other work that she does for me, for all of y'all, whatever. And so I would say that has transitioned into an administrative assistant position.
So what numbers are we talking?
That's what I was fixing to ask you.
It's going from $27,000 a year to $29,000 a year.
So it's $2,000 to be an administrative assistant,
I'm sorry, what?
$2,000 to be an administrative assistant over a clerical person?
Over a starting clerk salary from 27 to a starting administrative assistant of 29,000.
Plus the 2,000 on top of that, right?
Well, that, yeah.
That's
the next
later
budget.
at the,
This-
That's the budget.
at the
this-
budget,
yeah.
yes.
Start salary is 28, is it not?
It is 29 according to the fiscal year 2019. Is that not correct?
Deputy,
But
regular.
the starting clerk
Is
was
that not
28,
correct? That's what we're going by.
28.
the
That's
27.
what we're going by.
27.
Wow.
I think my coordinator makes sure.
$2,000 last year.
Oh,
What, 24?
That's what I'm going by. She,
thought my girl started at 28.
so she was hired on at 25, and last year at budget moved up to 27.
So we're talking $2,000.
And so I would like to move her to the beginning administrative assistant salary that is starting at 29,000.
Jennifer, is that gonna throw anything off at this point?
I spoke with Josie.
Yeah, I had a 2,000, I don't think that's.
When does that start? Effective when?
September 1st.
So is that the general step we have in other places between the clerical person and administrative assistant? I mean, I don't know. I'm asking.
I make a motion, we increase the salary from 27, 29 due to the administrative assistant.
We have a motion on the floor. We have a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Yes. I'm excited about it.
Thank you, ma'am. All right, we'll go back to item number 6. I believe it's the 6. My memory serves. Yes, item number 6. Oh, I'm sorry, 7, consideration and approval of payment of bills. Give you a chance to look over them. And
I hadn't looked at them yet.
we got a workshop, but I'd like to take a restroom break before we do that. I don't blame you.
I'll give it to her.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Make a motion, are you
Yes,
ready?
sir.
Make a motion to pay the bills as presented.
Second.
Motion and second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Unanimous. All right, that's, correct me if I'm wrong, that is covering everything we have on the agenda.
About number one. Wasn't it due?
Claire.
Not on the agenda?
Oh, I had to skip mine. Number 3,
No action.
no, there's no action.
Jack Lawrence proclamation.
Yeah, no action. I didn't have access to my computer, so I couldn't
No,
know
that favor who that was. Anyway, here comes that.
He did Meals on Wheels for me for 20 years.
I looked up and the actors on straight.
It's ceremonial only. There's nothing to it. I thought his wife would like to come on there. He passed away on the 20th, but she,
I was unaware. Well, I did.
okay, so we got a workshop that we're already 15 minutes behind on, but I need us to take like a 10-minute restroom break. Is that all right?
Please.
So how about we just come back at 10:30 even?
So we're adjourning this meeting,
This meeting will be adjourned. We'll come back at 10:30. Well, wait a minute. When do we want to meet again?
31st.
We need to meet again on
The 31st.
yeah. Do we have to do
Yeah, well, we need to meet because we're not gonna be here on the first Monday of September, so we need to get.
Okay. So 31st, all right. Now I'll be putting that, you have to remind me because Stephanie's out. You have to remind me to help. I'm sure Tiana could help too. I'm here if I need to do it.
Is she
I'm
quarantined?
Yes, sir. 14 days. Shane? That was.
Contract. You got a contract.
Okay, I'll declare this,
And I don't have to finish.
declare this meeting
Y'all have a
adjourned.
meeting coming up?
And at 10:30, we have a budget workshop.
I'm not, yeah,
I gotta do nothing.
It'll be in the first and 10th month.